In this week's practice, I'm going to lead you through a short sequence of movements to release tension in the shoulders and open the chest area. So this could be a nice practice in the morning to start the day with an open chest, or maybe use this after a long day at work, hunching at the computer. So maybe this is a nice way to end your day as well. Let's get started. You could do this week's practice without any props, but if you have blocks or maybe a bolster, something that you could use under hands, elbows in poses like child's pose or the puppy pose to open a bit more in the shoulders, and have something nearby that you can use to elevate your arms, elevate your hands off the mat if you want to do a bit bigger stretch for the shoulders. But like I said, that is very optional. Now, we're going to start the practice from lying down on the belly. So make sure you have a bit of space to come lie down on the front. And we'll take a few breaths here in the beginning, and you can choose where you would like to have your arms. Maybe you bring hands under your head, or you might extend your arms next to your sides, maybe turn one cheek on the mat. Or maybe using a shape, like a cactus shape, opening arms out to the side, or even extending arms overhead might feel nice in the shoulder area. So give yourself a moment to find where you would like to start the practice in. Where do you feel you could spend around 5 breaths? Slowly bringing awareness to the breath, but also checking in how the shoulders really feel now. Is there tension around the chest, or is there maybe tension around your shoulder blades in the upper back? And let your breath fill your rib cage. Feel the breaths expanding to the front, to the back, and out to the sides. But still keeping the very tops of the shoulders and neck free. Let's take another breath or two in and out. And just find that calm, soft breath. No need to make the breath any bigger than what feels natural, what feels easy right now. And then we're going to slowly transition into our first movement, and we're going to do that from lying down on the belly. Now first, extend your left arm overhead, lying down on the front, and then step your right hand quite close to your right shoulder or under the right shoulder. We start the twisted cobra from here. Now with your next in-breath, press down through your right hand and open your chest away from the mat. So you create a subtle twist through the upper spine and opening through the chest. Next exhalation, release down, change arms the other way around. And then as you inhale, lift hand, pressing down, open your chest. Now turning a bit more towards the left. And with the next exhalation, release down. Again, change the arms, same to the right. As you inhale, press down through the right. Keep that right top of the shoulder away from the ear. And exhale, release down. We're trying to mobilize the upper spine. So feel that space between the shoulder blades as we go to the left side again. Inhaling, opening through the chest. And exhale, releasing down. We'll go once more to both sides. So now right hand close to the right shoulder. And inhale, open the chest. Maybe looking out to the side. And exhale, release down. And once more to the left. Left hand pressing down. Open the chest away from the mat. There's a twist. There's a back bend. There's an opening in the chest. And exhale, release down. Now bring both hands under the shoulders and bring yourself onto hands and knees. And then come sitting on your shins, on your knees. And bring arms behind the back. Either interlock your fingers, extend the arms behind the back, or hold the opposite elbow behind the back. Once you've found the shape, the position for your arms, your hands, start to open your chest and let the hands, the arms, very gently pull down and back, away from the ears. If you have interlocked your fingers, you could very gently try pressing the bases of the thumbs, the heels of the hands together. Again, tops of the shoulders soft. You might look up. You can also keep chin closer to the chest, breathing into that chest space. If you feel that there is space to move, try to lift your hands or elbows slightly off the back, a bit higher up, and then release down. And again, lifting the hands tiny bit higher up, and exhaling down. Keep it easy, keep it soft. You might move your arms once more. Breathing to that chest space, and then release the arms. And release the hands and roll the shoulders. When we are opening our shoulders and chest, we're not just stretching in the front, we're also strengthening at the back. Now from this seat, walk hands forward and then step your right foot forward, coming into a lunge, giving a bit of movement for the legs as well. So right foot in front, lift yourself into a low lunge, bring arms in front of you. And from there, open arms into a cactus shape. So your elbows are bent, tops of the shoulders soft. Now, as you inhale, actively open the chest, gently draw the shoulder blades towards each other. And then exhale, close the chest. See if you can bring your elbows together, hands together. Same again. Inhale, open. Not tensing the shoulders, but drawing in through the shoulder blades. And exhale, close the arms, bring elbows, maybe even hands touching. Once more, open the chest. Breathing to that chest space. And exhale, close the arms. And then this time, step your hands on the mat. And we're going to move into child's pose. So now, bring your both knees behind you, so you're on all fours. And this is where you could bring your blocks or a bolster in front of you, so that when you lean into child's pose, if you want, you could now lift your hands onto those blocks or on top of the bolster. Keep the arms quite extended. They could be quite wide apart. And then see if you could lean your head down. Maybe head comes all the way down onto the mat. And notice how this feels in the shoulders. If there's pain, if there's any pinching sensations, then bring your hands a bit lower down. You can move your props aside. Maybe you bend the elbows if that feels better. But having the hands, arms a bit elevated might give a different sensation around the shoulders. Maybe it opens a bit more in the armpit area. Still breathing towards the back side as well. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly bring yourself back onto hands and knees. Now move at least that left side prop away so that you can step your left foot forward and find that low lunge on the other side. Feel free to take your time to adjust your legs so that you then feel you could lift yourself up, lift the back up, again reach arms in front of you. And then open the chest and open arms back into that cactus shape. Now we're going to do the same on this side. As you inhale, gently draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale to the chest space and exhale, bring the elbows together or close together. Bring hands close together. And inhale again, open the chest. And exhale, closing the chest. Again, keep the movement soft. Don't push too much. Inhale once more, open the chest. And exhale, close the arms. And then you can bring your hands down onto the mat. And now bring your left knee behind you so that you could, again, sit down onto your knees, onto your shins. I'll turn slightly towards you as we add eagle arms here. Now open arms out to the sides and then cross the arms so that your right arm is on top. And now either reach for the opposite shoulder or twist the arms in front of you. So you might bring your left hand or the left hand fingers to your right palm. And then soften the tops of the shoulders and slowly let your chin come a bit lower down. You could play with the elbows. Some people like to bring the elbows down close to the chest. You might round your neck, your upper back more. Some people like to elevate the elbows as the head is leaning down. So you can see which version would give you a bit of a stretch or sensation at the back of the shoulders, maybe upper back. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly release the pose. Open the arms. And really take a big breath in towards the chest. You can look up. And then we cross the arms the other way. Now lift the arm on top. And again, you can reach for your shoulders or twist the forearms. Tops of the shoulders free. Neck free. And then you can drop your chin towards the chest. And then you can play with the elbows. Would you like to elevate the elbows a bit higher up? Would you rather slowly bring the elbows a bit lower down? Maybe even again round the neck or upper back. And the second side might be very different. It might need something else. See if you can maybe access that space between the shoulder blades now. Maybe at the back of the shoulders, maybe in the arms. Take another breath in and out, really breathing to that space where you feel the sensation. And then slowly release the pose. You can open the chest, take a big breath in. And then release the arms. You can move the neck, you can move the shoulders. We have one more pose, and it's the puppy pose, or some people call it the melting heart. And again, you might use your blocks for this. It might give
a bit stronger sensation maybe. So we're going to start from hands and knees, and we try to leave our hips about on top of the knees throughout the pose. Now, if you're using blocks, bring your elbows onto the blocks and then bend the elbows. Hands could be behind the head or hands could be behind the neck. Or alternatively, you could bring your elbows onto the floor. So if you feel that when you now start to lean your head down and open your chest down towards the mat, like you're melting your heart down. If having your elbows on the blocks doesn't work, if it causes pain, pinching, then push the blocks aside and put your elbows onto the floor. You could have your forehead down, you could have your chin on the mat. You might even turn head to one side if that feels better for you. Try to breathe towards the upper back, towards the ribs, another few breaths in and out. And then slowly, when you feel ready to do so, release your arms. Depending on where your arms are, just carefully extend the arms, bring hands onto the mat, and then help yourself back up onto hands and knees. You could come into a seat. You could move your shoulders a bit. Maybe turn head from side to side. And then you have an option here, either to find Shavasana pose, or if you would like to add one more opening, this is very optional, this last opening, you could bring your blocks or your bolster behind your back and then lean on top of your props. But if you feel now the shoulders have gotten enough of opening, the chest is open, just find a Shavasana pose. So you choose. We're going to lean on to the back, and if you are using some props under your back, try to bring them somewhere between the shoulder blades and then maybe support under the head as well. Or if you just have one block, you can also bring the block somewhere between the shoulder blades and the upper back and maybe lean head all the way down onto the mat. Finding a supported back bend and trying to really access that rib cage area. So if you now only feel that this is back bending your lower spine and you're not accessing your upper spine as well, see if you can still adjust and find that space where when opening the chest, opening the arms, you do feel it somewhere around the shoulders and chest area. Like I said, head might lean all the way down onto the mat, onto the floor as well. And arms could be open, they might slide overhead. Some of you might like to use the hands under the neck or head. And wherever your back is, whether it's that back bend or Shavasana pose, you decide what you do with the legs. You can extend the legs, you can keep them bent. You might even open the legs into a butterfly pose. Again, don't make the pose too intense for yourself. Leave space for your breath. And we'll spend a couple of minutes here. At any point, you might adjust your pose if you have chosen the back bend and it starts to feel too much. You can always find Shavasana pose instead. Let the breaths move between the shoulder blades. Let the breaths move out to the sides of your ribs. Let the breaths move from your chest bone down towards the belly. If belly breaths feel too intense in this pose, don't force it. But just having that gentle downwards movement as you breathe in, and then subtle upwards release as you breathe out, as the breath moves back towards your chest, towards the throat, and out through the nose or mouth. Give yourself another 5-ish breaths wherever you are. Soften tension that you don't need right now. And let go of effort that you don't need in this pose right now. And then at the end of your 5-ish breaths, if you have arms higher up, just slowly bring the arms lower down. Bend your knees. And you could rock the knees from side to side a couple of times before rolling on to your side. It could be the left or it could be the right side. Which one is easier for you now? And then slowly bring yourself up into a seat. And find your easy seat. Now you might naturally feel that you want to round your spine, especially if you spend time in that back bend. So if you give yourself a few breaths to just sit with that sensation that you have in your spine, in your chest, in your shoulders now. So we're not rushing into a counter pose. And if after those few breaths you feel that you want to lean forward around your back, go ahead and go into that counter pose, rounding the spine. Otherwise, just stay where you are. Take a few more breaths in and out. We're slowly coming towards the end of our practice together. And as always, if it's part of your practice, you could bring your palms together in front of the chest. And most importantly, at the end of the practice, thank yourself for taking the time to look after yourself today. And I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing the practice. Namaste. Thank you. Good. Thank you very much. And if you enjoyed this practice, please give the video a thumbs up and leave your comments below. Any questions, any thoughts you have, I would love to hear them. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. There will be a lot more yoga videos coming up every week. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.